Hello friends, welcome to our show The Visa Help on NY24 YouTube channel, and today we will talk about the basic rejection reasons of the student visa, and our guest is Mr. Navdeep Singh from Delhi Immigration Services. Let's welcome our guest. Hi Navdeep.
Thank you, sir.
Navdeep, what are the basic and what are the basic reasons for refusal?
So, for the student visas,
Yeah.
the basic reasons for student visas are like purpose of visit, financial reasons. Sometimes visa officers say that I'm not satisfied that the applicant will go back to the home country after the completion of the authorized period of stay. So that means the officer is not satisfied. So that may be because of the personal establishment. It may also be because of the relevancy in the program. Maybe visa officer is not satisfied that the applicant would be able to complete the program because of the low English language proficiency score, or as I mentioned,
You mean
maybe
IELTS
the
score?
IELTS score, yes. And there are other reasons as well. Sometimes it depends the age and overall profile of the applicant. Let's say if the applicant is 35 years old, and in that case applicant might be having a huge gap in the career. Maybe he or she might have completed the previous education maybe in 2010 or 2011, and there's a huge gap of 9-10 years. And in that case it also depends that how visa officer assess the intentions of that applicant, whether this applicant would be a genuine or bona fide student or not. And there are certain factors in different applications, but the most common factors are the purpose of visit, which means it has to do with the program selection and career progression, and that also means that what sort of program the applicant is selecting. For example, if the applicant has done bachelor's in India, and applicant most likely would apply for postgraduate program, postgraduate diploma, graduate certificate in Canada, or master level degree. But there are certain instances wherein sometimes the agents do misguide students and they apply for a college level diploma, which is an undergraduate diploma for 2 years. And sometimes students apply for the very first time, and because they're not aware about the different program levels in Canada, and they just trust the consultant with their life and everything, and sometimes consultants do play with them, and they handle the applications unprofessionally. So there are different reasons. If you'll ask me about certain examples, I'll be able to pinpoint, and I'll be able to precisely tell you like what could have been the reasons for this refusal and what counteraction we can take.
Navdeep, what are the different types of refusals?
The different type of refusals, as I have already explained, like it may be because of the wrong program selection, maybe because of low English language proficiency score, the IELTS score, and it may be because of the financials. Maybe the applicant was not able to satisfy the officer that he's having sufficient funds, or maybe he is having sufficient funds but he wasn't able to provide the required documentation as per the regulations. For example, so sometimes the applicants do submit the online downloaded bank statements, and visa officers expect the applicant to submit the bank statements which are stamped by the bank officials. So
Navdeep, what type of document required for the funds?
Great question. Again, the one which I mentioned is we do not want the online downloaded statements. We want the statements which are stamped by the bank officials. Now you asked about what sort of documents we can provide. So if let's say your sponsor is your parent, and you can definitely enclose the bank statements, saving bank statement of last 4 months, showing the sufficient amount that the parent is able to sponsor you. If alternatively, you can also get a bank balance certificate from the bank. In that letter, the bank will mention that okay, this applicant or the parent's name, or whosoever his account holder is, they'll mention that this person is holding this type of account with this bank since this time, and this is the current balance. So that bank balance certificate would also be fine. If the applicant's parents are having any fixed deposits, fixed deposit certificates can also be enclosed. They are also accepted as and additionally, if you have taken a loan, so loan disbursement
And what
letter.
about insurance?
Insurance, for example, if somebody has paid, if let's say the parent of the applicant is having some sort of a policy going on, and they have paid enough amount of premiums towards that, and Yeah, you can get a surrender value certificate from the insurance company, which will state that if, let's say, at today's date, the parent will surrender the policy, whatever the amount he'll be able to get from that insurance policy, that will be obviously the amount that can be considered as a liquid amount that can be used. Yes. So yeah, the surrender value certificate would be required for that. Yeah.
Now, dear, can you explain the refusal reason for purpose of visa?
Yes, I would say this is the most common reason based on which the visa officers refuse the student visa applications, saying that I'm not satisfied that the student will leave Canada before the end of their authorized period of stay, as per subsection 2161 of IAPR, based on purpose of visit. So this particular refusal ground, has lot to do with the intention of the student and the program relevancy. Basically, the purpose of visit, why student is going to Canada, obviously to study, but for which program. So if the student has already done bachelor's in India and the student is applying for, let's say, graduate certificate program, but that program is irrelevant to the previous education. Okay. In that case, it would be very difficult to convince the officer that student is a bona fide student and the intention of this student is actually to study that program. This is how they handle the applications. In case the program is not relevant, it becomes very difficult to satisfy the officer, especially when it comes to the Canadian student visa applications. So another example is, let's say if student has already done masters in India, and if the student is again applying to study masters in Canada, that may mean that the student is going to study the similar subjects again which he has already studied in India. So that will not justify the rational career progression in the applicant's career, because if the applicant has already done masters in India and the applicant, let's say, the fresh pass out and is not able to target the sort of a jobs which he wanted to target, maybe students may give the reason saying that okay, the quality of masters in India was not up to the mark and they are not able to target the high level or senior level jobs, so they want to pursue the master's level. So in this case, if the program, let's say, is MBA in India and the student is again going for MBA in Canada, it's going to be very difficult because it will be overlap of subjects. Students have already studied the similar subject, so it will be an issue of career progression. The visa officer will not be able to understand that how you would justify the investment of 30 lakhs and when you will be ending up with the similar sort of a degree. So purpose of visit, you asked, has a lot to do with your program selection, whatever programs you are going to study, and how you explain in the SOP. Now, SOP is a very critical document in the application, so whatever you are writing in the SOP will be considered rigorously. So it's very important to be very precise about why you have chosen this program and what are your future plans. Now, future plan is also a very important aspect of this application, because if, let's say, the visa officer is able to determine that okay, the program selection is right, student has chosen the right program, student has a relevant background, academic background, is having good IELTS score, but now the visa officer won't be able to determine whether what would you do afterwards, what would you do after completion of the program. Everybody understands that no student is going to come back from Canada because everybody is going with an intention to settle permanently over there, but at least visa officers need to establish and to understand that how likely it is that applicant would come back. If visa officer is able to determine that it is more likely that student may come back because of the establishment of the family, let's say if the applicant's family is earning well, they're having regular income, they're having good establishment, good properties and everything, so in some scenarios, it is the likely possibility that the applicant may go back. So the purpose of visit has again to do with the program selection and the SOP, what you write in the SOP.
Thank you, Navdeep. Thank you so much for coming in our show. Thank you so much. Okay, friend. Thank you so much for watching this show. You can ask any question in the comment box, and please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you so much.